talked about choosing a leader or a leadership committee, but we should probably also think about getting rid of a leader or leadership committee. How long should a leader be able to hold power? So currently in the UK, the longest time a parliament can exist is 5 years. However, an election may be called earlier, including if confidence is lost in the government. You'll want to think about what reasons or processes you would think to be reasonable for the replacement of your leaders. A maximum period they can stay in power. What systems would you put in place so that there is a way to oust an unsatisfactory leader earlier than this? Should the same people be allowed to be re-elected? Consider the maximum 2-term rule for US presidents. One of the things that you probably want to bear in mind is the advantages and disadvantages of longer-term leadership. On the one hand, it can be considered a very good thing to have processes in place, either democratic processes or legal processes, for ousting politicians who don't do what the people expect or don't live up to the standards expected of them by law or in public life generally. However, there are also advantages to thinking about long-term government. How do you make sure that ideas that are started don't just get scrapped after, say, 4 or 5 years of a party being in power? We could take an example from the year 2023, when I'm recording this, thinking about the Conservative Party conference, where it's just been announced that Rishi Sunak is scrapping the HS2 plans, so high-speed rail in its northern leg. This is important to consider because this is a long-held cross-party commitment that would have gone on into the next century. At the same time, however, the Conservative Party's slogan and tagline for this conference has been to think about longer-term government. So what does it mean to plan for a longer-term future? How can you do that if things are switching all the time? Even within parties, what about when party leaders change, as we've seen happen frequently with the Conservative Party in the recent year? So bearing this in mind, you probably want to consider what the advantages are of being able to replace leadership, but also what ways can you make sure that there is stability and long-term security for plans being made within your society. You might also want to think about other ways that governments get overthrown. So what would you do if there was a military coup, if you are going to have an armed force within your society, or a popular revolution? What power do the people have simply to stand up and overthrow the people who are in charge of them? Where is the line between protest and order? And these are also very salient points at the moment in the UK as restrictions are being placed on people's right to protest. So what do you think about this, the extent to which government can simply be replaced, removed, or overthrown by its people?